My dad was an industrious man, endowed with a deep sense of responsibility, integrity, love, and humility. He saw a future for me beyond the small town in Rhode Island where I grew up. The strong family support, expectations of success, and personal determination set me on the right course to succeed. Back then, I loved the Boy Scouts, and you could always count on me to have my canteen and be prepared. I yearned to break away from the environment for fear of entrapment in a city with closed opportunities for blacks. When my dad said I needed to leave to have a chance at being successful, the military seemed the right place for me. When I entered Brown University, I tried to join the Naval ROTC and was denied. I then attempted to join the local Marine Reserve Unit and was not admitted. It wasn't until 1951, during the Korean War, with educational funds exhausted, I took an examination and was judged pre-qualified to attend Army OCS. I enlisted as a private in the infantry to pursue a career in the military. You see, the military was the mechanism I and other young men seized upon to break away from our respective environments. I began to realize that the military environment could, in fact, provide real and better prospects for me to achieve my potential. In 1956, I was one of a handful of GIs to win an appointment to the military academy from the ranks. You heard the stories about my mentor and friend, H. Minton Francis, and it is partly because of Minton Francis that I had no issues concerning bias to confront at West Point. I think Minton had set them straight. And by the time I arrived, it was difficult, but not from a racially biased view. As a West Point graduate, I know how to work under fire. I graduated high enough in my West Point class to get my first choice assignment, the Army Corps of Engineers. I earned master's degrees in nuclear and civil engineering at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. I had an active career in the Army Corps of Engineers that included an assignment on the faculty of the United States Military Academy. It was 1967, and I was the first African-American tactical officer assigned on the staff in the Academy's history. Thereafter, I continued my service in the U.S. Army Reserve Command. My final assignment was commanding the 12,000-member 97th Army Reserve Command, headquartered at Fort George G. Meade in Maryland. When I retired, I held the rank of Major General. When I gave up the security of an Army career for the uncertainty of business, I was fulfilling a lifelong dream. Growing up in East Providence, Rhode Island, I believed that my destiny would be to own my own business. I found my opportunity with a Midwestern asphalt road building company that wanted to expand into the Washington area. In 1971, I invested in Tie Rock Construction and became president and owner of 51% of the stock in the Washington company. Tie Rock ran into financial problems during the economic downturn of the 1980s and filed for reorganization in 1986. My uphill battle was fought in the spotlight as I was president-elect of the Greater Washington Board of Trade when Tie Rock tumbled. I resigned from the board to concentrate on my business. I started over, building a new business, Essex, while salvaging the old. Today, both are a part of Blunt Enterprises. I built Tie Rock and its successor, Essex Construction, into one of the most successful minority-owned construction companies. Essex Construction does more than $15 million in business annually, principally renovating office buildings and multifamily housing, developments and building religious and healthcare facilities for senior citizens in the Baltimore, Washington area. But my road to success was not a smooth one. At one point, I needed special sand that the District of Columbia government required for construction projects. I sent a truck to one nearby supplier to pick up a load. The truck came back empty. The supplier said he had all the business he could handle and refused my order. Although I was certain the Sandman was discriminating because of race, I simply outmaneuvered him and found another supplier. In recent years, I have been called on to share my leadership skills as chairman of the National Advisory Committee to the Kellogg Commission on the Future of State and Land-Grant Universities as a lecturer on the subject of leadership. And I will tell you as I tell them, you have to light a fire. Share your infectious enthusiasm with others, and people will jump aboard.